DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This week's motivation is talking about the why and the how. The why and the how. When we talk about those things, let's just say you got a person out there, you that's watching this video, it's something that you want to do, something you want to accomplish in your life, whatever it is. You want to make it to the NBA, you want to start your own business, you want to give your mom a nice house, you want to buy yourself a new car, you want to get big muscles, you want to have a sexy body, whatever it is you're trying to do, you have some type of goal. Now what happens, a lot of us, when we have these certain goals, once we have that enthusiasm, we first think of an idea, like think of, sometimes you thought of some great idea, some great thing you wanted to do, you was really enthusiastic about it for like that first hour, that first 5 minutes or whatever, you feeling it like, yeah, this would be great if this happens, you get into dream mode in your head, you're like, damn, this would be perfect. And then you start to filter through the realities of the situation. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it, but you start to think of the things you will have to do, things that will have to take place in order for you to reach this great ideal, to reach this idea, to make this idea come to fruition, to become real. And you start to think about all these things, and what happens, you start to think about the how are you going to do this. So let's just say we're talking about a basketball player, they want to play in the NBA. So all the hows they got to go through. Right? How first I got to make this basketball team, then I got to try to get into college, and hopefully I get a scholarship, and hopefully some scouts see me, then I got to go through the draft, and hopefully I get drafted, and hopefully I make the team, and then hopefully I get on the court. And then there's a whole bunch of little things all through there. You got to do good in school, you got to have the support of your family maybe, so you can do what you got to do. You might need some transportation so you can get to the gym. You might need a trainer, you might have to pay that person so you can get the expertise and information that you need to be pushed. There's so many little things you got to go through. That's the how of accomplishing a goal. Let's say you want to be a model. Females out there, you want to be a model. So you got to get some photo shoots. You got to get a comp card. You got to pay for this stuff. You got to diet. You got to make sure your skin is clear. You got to make sure you're in right shape. You might have to get a personal trainer. You might have to go do this fashion show. You got to make sure you don't fall when you're on the catwalk. You got to make sure somebody likes you. You got to see if an agency will sign you. It's all these little things for the how that you got to figure out. But the purpose of this motivation this week is that it's more important for you to think of the why than the how. And I'm sure many of you have heard this before. Somebody says, what's your why? What's your why means whatever it is, whatever goal it is that you want to accomplish, you out there watching this video, the why of that goal is more important than the how of that goal. Because when you talk about the how of doing something, anybody with a big goal, the how is a million different variables, a lot of them which you do not 100% control, that could affect the outcome or affect you on your path of where you're going. You know it's not going to be a straight line. You're going to have to go this way, that way. You might have to go backwards for a minute, then maybe you'll go forward, something else happens. You know how it is. It's just how life is. Every person in here, if you over the age of 25, you know you've had certain plans and goals, and even if you reach them, it didn't go in a straight line perfect. You had this detour, you had to do this over here, you might have to go backwards for a minute, you might have had to stop for a minute. All these things happen before you can get to where you got to go. It never goes perfect. So if you're thinking of the how, as soon as something gets thrown in your path, it throws a wrench in that perfect plan you had, that perfect how plan, that could throw you off if your why is not strong enough. So if your why is, I want to be a model because I feel like I'm beautiful and I feel like I got something to share with the world and I think I can inspire a bunch of children and I can help my family, and this is really what I think I was meant to do. I can feel it in my heart every time I talk about it. That's a why. That why will get you through all of the how, even if the how is something you don't even know what the how is. I remember when I was leaving college, my senior year of college, you read my book, Buy a Game, to read about how my senior year went. It's free on DreAllDay.me. That's my writing website. But anyway, I knew that I was going to play basketball professionally. I didn't know how. I had no idea. I didn't know any agents, any coaches. I couldn't even name a team overseas. I knew I wasn't going straight to the NBA from my position at that time, but I knew I was going to play basketball. I didn't know anything. I didn't know hardly any players who played overseas. I didn't know no coaches, agents, camps. I didn't know anything. But the why was, I knew this was the thing that I was meant to do. I knew I had the ability to do it. I knew mentally I was ready to do it. I just knew I was going to do it. There was no plan B. I knew that it was going to happen. That why was stronger than the unknown hows. I had no hows. I didn't have no plan, no list, no nothing. But the why was strong enough that I ended up making it happen. And you know, the rest is history now. You're here watching my videos on YouTube. So if you have a strong enough why for whatever it is you want to accomplish, the how will eventually take care of itself. That doesn't mean you don't make a plan. It doesn't mean you don't strategize or have some idea of what you're going to do, when, how, where, who, and whatever. But when you know why, you'll keep going even when the hows don't go according to plan. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.
What's good? This DRA from Wisconsin. Work on your game and get it right.